Hello and welcome back to Awakening to Your Story TV, the place to learn, get inspired, and be supported with heart-centered solutions for your everyday problems. I'm your host, author, emotional heart expert, and heart enthusiast, Alicia Hartzell. Today we're going to talk about when success feels out of reach. Our question goes like this. Dear Alicia, I feel like I'm constantly failing. If I get it together in one area of my life, there's always another one that feels like the bottom's falling out. It's one wrong move after another. How do I stop failing others and myself? Signed, Searching for Success. I can feel the pain, and I identify with that place that you're coming from because I've been in similar places in my life. As we talk about this idea of failing, I want to call out the voices in your head that are setting the standards, parameters, and goals for your success, then judging every last move that you make along the way. We all have them, but we don't all realize that we can use them to our advantage. Because you use the word constantly, it leads me to believe that those negative voices in your head are pretty focused on that failing, and with focus always comes momentum. If a negative voice in your head has momentum behind it, it can become really overwhelming. Now, there are tons of familiar anthem cries against failure. You know the ones that I'm talking about. Posters have made of them. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness. That one's by Oprah. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. That one's Henry Ford. Only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly. That's Robert Kennedy. It's failure that gives you the proper perspective on success. That's Ellen DeGeneres. If you are not failing, you are probably not moving forward. That's John C. Maxwell. We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. And that's Maya Angelou. I could literally go on and on. But when there's momentum behind the negative voices in your head and you are in the midst of that feeling that you described where the bottom's falling out and you are making wrong moves, these quotes probably are not going to stand a chance against those negative voices in your head. Let me ask you a really important question. Are the negative voices directing you, or are you using them? If they are directing you, then you feel like they are coming at you. It can feel like you are being tossed around or in a cycle of negative reaction from one thought to the next. The voices come at you like they know better than you, and then you believe them. They come in and boss you around and make you feel bad. They cut you off, they shame you, they limit you, and they breed way more suffering. These voices that are playing over and over again in your head are actually illustrating limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are the echoes of other people who were suffering. They get handed down from one person to another. If the thoughts are negatively charged, they are not yours, and they are not fundamental to who you are. Oh, sure, you picked them up and you adopted them, but they are not part of that original divine essential truth that was woven into your humanity. Limiting beliefs hold you in a resistant place to the source energy of love and life within you. If this is where you find yourself, do not worry. A shift in perspective will help slow down that momentum. And get this, what I am about to tell you will show you how to use them in your favor. Now, when you're using them, the situation is a little bit different. You sit from a very different vantage point. You know that if a thought comes in and it doesn't feel good to you, you get to use it. Your feelings and those pesky voices in your head are indicators to show you where to pay attention. So I want to talk to you about 3 things that happen when you use the negative voices to your favor. Number 1, you figure out what you really want. Number 2, you work on a deeper healing within your story. Number 3, you repattern the limiting beliefs back to your essential truth. Your feelings and the voices in your head are perfectly designed indicators of where you are and where your thoughts are leading you. The feelings you have and the language you use to describe them creates a perfectly illustrated roadmap that you can use to help you find the very place you want to go. Rather than reacting to the feelings, get curious about them. Rather than taking direction from the voices in your head, figure out what limiting beliefs they are trying to highlight. If you get curious about them, you allow them to do their job and help you figure out where you want to really go. In your question, it wasn't just about failing and success. You used the words bottom falling out and wrong move to describe the situation that you're in. Those are powerful illustrations for where you are, and if you use them, they can help you get to where you want to go. Okay, let's look a little bit closer at the 3 things that happen when you use those negative voices. Number 1, when you figure out what you really want. So, we know you want to feel success and you want to make the right moves. What about the bottom falling out? What describes that part of the process for you? Is it security and stability? Is it strength? You have to get curious and figure out what the desire is that you really have. Spend some time here, giving those desires some language and some air to breathe. As you deepen your relationship with these desires, daydream about them, write about them, meditate on them, and pray about them. Spend time with them, as much time as you can. Spend more time with those thoughts than you do with the limiting beliefs. Let them become as much a part of your thought process as anything else. Okay, 2, work on deeper healing within your story. Those feelings of failing and the bottom falling out and making wrong moves, they all have an origin moment in your story. Now, not everyone wants to do this part, but it is a tried and true way of healing that I have used for decades. So when you try to find the origin story for the beliefs, you ask, when was the first time I felt this way? Then you just stay open as you think back over the storyboard of your life. I love this part because once you find those moments, it helps you see that the limiting feelings are really a byproduct of a moment in time. It is not fundamental to who you are, but actually contradicts the fundamental truth that is in you. Those failing feelings around the bottom falling out or feeling like you're making all the wrong moves, they are in this present moment as a replay of those moments in the past. Now, as we work on this step-by-step process, you can find more information about it in my Awakening to Your Story book or the starter kit. So if you need a little extra help uncovering this process, you can always find that information on the website. Okay, we're going to jump into number 3. Repattern the limiting beliefs back to the essential truth. Repatterning is my favorite part because it changes the course of your thoughts and beliefs, creating huge momentum shifts that you can really feel. This is the place where you get to build up all of those good feelings about the essential truth and where you're actually trying to go. Again, write about it, daydream about it, dance about it, and most importantly, choose your thoughts about it as much as you can. You repattern one thought at a time, and the more you think about it, the easier it's going to be to choose those thoughts that feel good. We also take a deep dive into this process of repatterning in the starter kit. So again, if you need some hands-on exercises and analogies to bring this part of the process into reality for yourself, grab yours on the website. Okay, so it isn't as much about failing as it is about using whatever feelings you are having or whatever negative voices in your head that you are experiencing to help you find your path forward. Once they've done their job as indicators, you can keep reaching for thoughts that incrementally feel better. And before you know it, all of those anthem cries that cheer you through the failure will really feel true. Now, you are not alone in any of this. You can do it. I know that you can because I have been there and I have had to pick myself back up and use my feelings too. So stay with it. Stay curious. And until next time, know that I am holding a place of love for you where your path forward to your desires, well, they're undeniable. For more support, information, and inspiration, join me at awakeningtoyourstory.com.